All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. This episode is part of a health series where I invite experts from the health industry to come and talk about things that we should all be aware of and most likely do ourselves. I believe that people treat their money just like they treat their health, and that our greatest asset is our health, both physically and mentally. I hope you get something out of it and share the episode with any friends or family that may benefit. Part of being fit is exercising, and part of exercising is, of course, eating the right thing and doing the right types of exercise. But there's a big element of that, which is recovery. And a lot of the, not a lot, every single elite athlete would know all about recovery, but the everyday person probably doesn't. And a big part of that is hot and cold therapy. And there are so many things to talk about on this topic. And I've invited Chloe here with us today to talk about the amazing things that happen at Bodicove Rochedale South. Chloe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Michael, for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Am I right in saying that recovery is like a massive, massive part of exercise and being fit and exercising?
Absolutely. It's definitely something that works really well in conjunction with exercise. And overall, there are so many benefits, from physical benefits, but also mental benefits. But from an athlete's perspective, when somebody is using recovery after their training, they're really optimizing their performance for future training. So we can fast track those results through recovery modalities, things like hot and cold, of course, like you just touched on. But there are a number of different things that we can do to get a better physical response from post-exercise training.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if without proper recovery, that's where injuries happen and people are basically set back sometimes. I remember back in the days when I used to really gym a lot, all it took was one injury and that's it. You're out for 3 months sometimes. And all of a sudden, suddenly all this work that you've done in a way is reversed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, normally we tell people to rest when they are injured because it is very important for their body to repair and recover. But now with these recovery services, we can do that a lot faster.
Yeah. And can we now really just jump into the hot and cold therapy side of things? Because for me, I've always known about hot therapy. I think as kids, we've always known about it. Someone has a bad back. Actually, really, we've known about both, but as kids and growing up, my thought process was always, okay, you injure yourself, you hit your knee, you put an ice pack on it.
Yeah.
You have a bad back, you put a heat pack. But only recently have I really understood the relationship they can both have and how they can sort of both be used for the same things, but different things.
Yeah, definitely. So they're absolutely opposing in terms of the benefits of what they can do, but then working together, there are so many incredible things that can come from this. So, for example, reducing pain, increasing our circulation in our body, and reducing inflammation, just to name a few. But when we do hot, there are some specific things that are happening to our body. And when we do cold, there are also some specific things that are happening to our body. And then when we do alternate therapy, which is the contrasting therapy that a lot of recovery centers are recommending, that's going to have a fantastic benefit when working together.
And what is there an order usually? Is it usually hot first is better than, is it better to go hot first and then cold, or is it cold and then hot?
Yeah, most people would say hot and then cold, but I guess there's a few different ways that you can do it. Not one size fits all, Michael. So basically, we would recommend the hot exposure in, say, something like a far infrared sauna, for example, because at a cellular level, our body is heating from the inside out and we're detoxifying our body. And then once we've released those toxins, and released any tension in our muscles, then we're going to go through to the cold therapy. And so I guess the science behind it is that when you're doing the hot, you're going to dilate your blood flow. Okay, so you're dilating your vessels, your blood flowing, essential nutrients are being formed, and that's going to your muscles. But when we're doing the cold therapy, we're actually doing the opposite. So we're restricting those vessels. And then when you're doing those things in conjunction with each other, that's where you start to, get that increased energy, increased recovery, increased mood, and all of those different benefits that come along with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And even like when it comes to, for example, a sauna, because I've heard there are so many more benefits to a sauna than, for example, than a steam room, or just being in being in the sun, for example. Obviously everything has its pros and cons, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you could just expand a little bit on that side of things, because not many. Are there different types of saunas? Do they all sort of do the same thing? And is it? Yeah, and how long would someone usually be in there for as well? Because I've jumped in some for 5 minutes, I've jumped in some for 45 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess there's two different types of saunas that are mainstream. So we have the far infrared sauna. That's really working at a cellular level from the inside out. And then you have your traditional, more finished saunas, and that's going to be hitting you from the outside in. And so both of them have their benefits, and there's many different studies that go along with that. But the far infrared sauna has really shown some amazing benefits in terms of, I guess, decreasing that stress on the body, increasing the cortisol levels in the body, relieving pain quite quickly, increasing your cardiovascular health, and also your skin health as well. And the detoxification benefits are quite quickly. So you are getting, a good detox, sweating out all those impurities in your body within 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Because sweating is good, right? Like we need to sweat, and again, like I think a lot of people don't realize the importance of sweating. Years ago I stopped using antiperspirant deodorant, for example. I
Yep.
use like a different one, like it's a natural one that sort of
Mhm.
takes away smell. And I don't have, a pretty bad sweating issue anyway. I know every person's different as well, but just sweating. Just something literally as simple as that, because yeah, the detoxing, so it's not someone that just has an injury like that can benefit from a sauna.
No, there's so many different benefits, as we've said, but somebody that's dealing with stress, for example, might use the sauna just to help to calm their nervous system. There's things like color light therapy, for example, blue light therapy, which can help to reduce cortisol levels in the body. So that's an amazing benefit because our mind and our body is connected. So if we're feeling really stressed mentally, that is going to have an effect on our physical health as well. So that's just one person that could benefit. I guess there's stress in our day to day lives. We're all so busy. We've got high demanding jobs, we've got families, all these things. So it's just a moment to pause, to relax the mind. And then I guess the other side is you're going to get the physical benefits from post training recovery. So anybody that's been training in the gym might have tight muscles. It can help to relax their muscles. And as I said, getting that blood flow back and essential nutrients into the muscle, which is going to help them to recover faster and then perform harder next time they're training.
Yes. And what are some other types of hot therapies?
I guess the hot spas, a magnesium spa is one. So that's going to be at around 40 degrees, and that's going to get your core temperature up. So when you're in there, you do become quite relaxed, but it is getting your metabolism going. So that's another way. If you are unable to go into a heat of up to 60 degrees, that 40-degree mark can do very similar things.
Okay. So there's the sauna, there's the sitting in something really warm. I mean, what about steam rooms? Do you have a thought on that, like an opinion on the steam rooms?
Look, it's not a modality that Bodicove uses, but I definitely think there's a place for it. It comes back to 2,000 years ago where people were using hot and cold therapies in the Nordic region. So all of those things will have a benefit because it's going to help to sweat out any of those impurities in your body. So it's going to help to release lactic acid in the body. It's going to help release any of those heavy metal toxins. So they all do have a place. I guess it's just finding the service that you enjoy most, something that you can do regularly, because I think this is a ritual. It's not just a one-off service. If you can do these things regular, you will start to see the benefits long term.
Yes, and also as far as the yeah, the cold side of things is concerned, I really want to talk about that as well because for me, I'm not a cold person. Like when it comes to jumping in cold water, for example, if there's this, I hate jumping into a swimming pool at the start. Like that initial plunge going from being really hot to something which is probably cold, like that really gets to me. Cold showers, I don't like, you know. But saying that, in the last couple of years, more than ever, I've just been reading things, listening to podcasts. I was at an event the other day and somebody was talking about the benefits of cold showers and cold therapy. Can we get into that as well now? Because I feel like this is something a lot of us are probably more familiar with the hot side of things, and not as much with the cold, apart from probably what we've seen on social media and seen our friends do in the last 3 or 4 years. But cold therapy has really made a bit of an appearance, hasn't it, recently?
Yeah, definitely. There's the trends all over TikTok of people videoing their ice plunges and their cold baths, and it's definitely gained momentum. It's uncomfortable. It's such a challenge. And I think most people would agree with you. Cold showers are horrible at the best of times. But with the temperatures that we're seeing with the cold plunges and the ice plunges, it is more than just uncomfortable. It is actually a shock to the body. So your body is going into this intensely cold situation, and your body kicks into fight or flight mode. So your body has to adapt quite quickly. And what's happening is that those blood vessels are actually restricting, it's slowing the blood flow right down. You're going to actually have to control your breath work just so that you don't hyperventilate, because we really need to be able to sit in that stillness for at least a minute to start to see some of those benefits. Nothing like jumping in and out for 5 seconds. It's really that we want to try to help you to build your mental resilience so that you can start to see some of those benefits long term.
Yeah. And can I ask, why is it so uncomfortable and why is it a shock to the system, apart from obviously just being cold?
Yeah, so the temperatures, of course. So at a cold plunge, you're usually looking at around 5 to 15 degrees. Now, that probably doesn't sound very cold for a lot of listeners, but honestly, it is so incredibly cold. An average would be about 10 degrees for a cold plunge. And they use these inbuilt chillers in there to give you a consistent temperature. So you won't have pockets of inconsistency. So your body being fully submerged is now reducing its core temperature, and it's having to adapt to this cold temperature of around 5 or 10 degrees. And yeah, your body is literally going into shock. There's an incredible stress response that's happening in your body.
Yes. And then after that, I mean, obviously the benefit is the recovery, yeah, like the recovery of the muscles and
Yeah, absolutely. So, when the blood vessels constrict, all that lactic waste is being flushed from our muscles. So, that's going to reduce the inflammation in the body. The other thing that can help with cold baths and ice plunges is that our brown fat is activated. So, we're turning the white fat into brown fat and we're using that energy. So, we're expending energy while we're in the ice plunge, and then that is going to be burning calories and then can have a benefit of weight loss as well. There's so many responses that are happening in our body. So our dopamine levels are increasing, our vagus nerve is activated, and that signals to our body to reduce our stress as well. Our immune system is boosting because we're increasing our white and red blood cells as well. So there's so many things physiologically that are happening in your body while you're submerged in the cold water.
yeah, okay. And also as far as cold therapy is concerned, sure, I mean, actually, let's backtrack a little bit with the ice bath, because I've done it a couple of times. Are you meant to put your whole head in it? Because I've seen some people do it. They put literally their head inside everything. I've seen some where they put everything but their head.
Yeah, so we recommend going down to about your sort of your neckline. That's going to activate the vagus nerve, and that's where you start to see some of the benefits. But right at the end, if you want to do a full submersion and dip your head in, that's going to give you a real feeling of vitality and this energy uplift as well.
Yeah, okay. So you can. So I've probably been chickening out the whole time, not
You
doing
wouldn't
it.
want to hold your breath because it is important for the body under further stress, but a quick little dip in and out, that can be really beneficial.
Yes, that makes sense as well. Because of course you can't breathe underwater. So yeah, that just occurred to me. Um, and with cold therapy, are there any other types of cold therapy, or would you say that's the main one?
Well, so there is two cold therapies. There's the ice plunge, and so that's where you usually would get like a chest freezer, and you would put bags of ice in there, and also water as well. And then you have your chillers, which are your cold plunges. You could also look at doing external cold plunges. So in a river, like a really icy lake, that would be the more, I guess, natural way of doing cold plunging. And then, of course, you have like your first aid principles where you're just going to do your rice, which is, your rest, your ice, your compression, and then your elevation as well. So those things that you can do to help reduce inflammation and injury as well.
Yeah, and would I say with a lot of these things, it's also about baby steps? Like, don't just jump in and go all out and try to hit 5 minutes in the ice plunge straight away, or don't do the sauna for a whole 40 minutes, for example, if you're claustrophobic or you don't really like heat, or for those that haven't done it before.
I think it's important to recognize that you need to listen to your body. So just because your friend can do it, they might have done it many of times. It's really important for you to listen to your body and recognize, how you're feeling and then respond to that. So a lot of people that are just starting out, if they are in good physical health, and I really want to stress that, because if you do have any underlying conditions, hot and cold therapy, because of the stress response your body is going through, can actually be dangerous. So we need to make sure that you're of sound health before you go through and do these types of things. So making sure you don't have anything like heart disease, a history of stroke, cancer, and even some autoimmune diseases as well. But if you are in good health, definitely start slow. So going into a sauna, because your body temperature is increasing gradually, you will adapt with that temperature. But if you notice you're feeling hot, if you notice you're feeling a bit dizzy, you're just going to open that door and you're going to come out. Staying hydrated is really vital, especially when you're doing that as well. Cooling your core temperature down and then going back in is also something you can do. So definitely listen to how you feel. When you're doing an ice plunge or a cold bath, there is going to be an element of discomfort and you will have to push through that a little bit. So for example, when we get into an ice plunge, we really need to control our breathing so that we don't hyperventilate. But you want to look for things like, is my pulse beating too fast? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling, claustrophobic? Am I feeling unsafe? And if the answer is yes to any of those things, you just get straight out. But if you can control your breath and you can sort of meditate through that discomfort, that's where the magic starts to happen.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a free 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au. And as far as like the advantages and disadvantages are concerned, of recovery, we've sort of talked about the disadvantages, and they're probably more risks than anything. Is of course speak to a doctor, to your doctor if you have any health concerns, and listen to your body. As far as the positives are concerned, the benefits, we've discussed the physical, and I feel like you've only slightly touched on the mental side of things. And to me, when I've gone there and a couple of times, and I've walked out. Yes, physically I felt great, and I probably, probably physically you don't feel great straight away. Probably takes a few days to really see the proper benefits. But I'd say mentally for me was the highlight, because you've talked about the vagus nerve. I've heard about the vagus nerve so many times. It's one of the longest cranial nerves in our body, and it's related so much to mental health. But just if we can just really talk about that, and if you can highlight the benefits from a mental health perspective, because to me that was my highlight, and to me that was something I felt straight away, like literally instantly.
Well, that's great to hear. I guess not many of us are actually stopping, and we're going at such a fast pace in our lives that actually taking a break and actually just being is something that we do not very often. So that in itself can be a really nice way just to reset. Focusing on relaxing activities as well will help you to control your breathing. And there's so many benefits that come along with controlled breathing. But I guess if you look at it as a whole, it's all about regulating your nervous system. So we're always just in such a stress response or a flight response that our body doesn't actually get a chance to regulate. body. So, with all of these different services, there are so many health benefits, but then working together, it's going to help relax our mind, it's going to help distress us, it's going to lift our mood. And overall, I think all of those things are going to let you feel optimized. It's going to make you feel that you can take on the world. It's going to give you that confidence that you can, you know, just stop and you're just being with yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. And also even like and this applies to all exercise, but my thought process as well is by taking that time out, you're allowing yourself to relax and to disconnect because this may come to most people as a shock, but you can't take your phone into the sauna. You can't take your phone into the ice plunge. So just putting your phone away somewhere, and
True, a little digital
taking,
detox.
yeah, digital detox and just taking your mind off things and allowing yourself to just relax and chill. And yeah, I think it's a big thing. And it's sort of like not a circuit breaker, but like a kill switch in a way to us, yeah, constantly, like what you said, being on the grind and working. It's like, no, stop, go through this really uncomfortable, potentially awkward, but really uncomfortable process, the shock to your body. And then after that, you get back into the real world again, and it's like you come out like as a new person in a way.
Yeah, we're coming back to the present moment, aren't we? And we're being mindful, and that is such a powerful tool.
Yeah, big time, big time. And so apart from the hot and cold therapy side of things, is there anything else that people can do from a recovery point of view, or anything else that Body Cove offers? Because there are a few other things that they have.
Yeah, so at Body Cove, we start with the Normatec compression boots. So that's like an airbag that goes onto each of your individual legs. For those that haven't used them before, it will compress your body with air. So it's going to give you, I guess, a feeling of like a soft tissue massage. And that's going to force all the toxins out of your lower extremities up into your gut, which is a great thing to do post training because we're removing that lactic waste from the body. And that's going to prevent DOMS. So if anybody doesn't know what DOMS are, that's the delayed onset muscle soreness that you can get the next day, when you can't sit down on the toilet properly after a good gym workout. So that's going to actually help to relieve that pain, and then you can get straight back into your training again. But if we're going to do that before we go into a sauna, for example, we've already done a lot of the work to stimulate the lymph. So now we're going to sweat out all those toxins in the sauna. So they really work well hand in hand, one after the other. And then from there, going from the sauna into the contrasting pools, that's where, of course, you're going to get both those hot and cold benefits. And then after that, we finish off and really just take a moment to be mindful. And we do a guided meditation in our salt therapy room. And that's a really nice flow to, I guess, help you recover mind and body.
Okay, and also because there are some massive benefits to the salt therapy side of things.
Mm.
If you can just expand on that as well, because it's a big thing. Like for me, I struggle to relax sometimes and just to sit there. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not, I don't think when I did the salt therapy, I definitely didn't relax properly because I find it hard to switch off. But just from a mental perspective, like it's I've heard of a lot of benefits of just even having like a salt lamp in your house, let alone being in a room of salt.
That's right. So I guess it's so uncomfortable for us to do nothing, isn't it? So we can't just really sit there. We're always, being distracted by things, scrolling on our phone. So the salt room really was designed to be a relaxation space first and foremost. There are a lot of benefits to salt therapy. There are two types of therapy. So there's a active room, which has a halo generator, and that's going to break down minute particles of salt into the air. Or then you have a passive room, which is what we have, and that's going to gradually sweat salt ions into the air. And then over time, with more exposure, that's going to help to open up your airways, kill bacteria on your lungs. But the most important benefit from the space that we have is relaxation. At Body Cove, you'll get guided meditation headphones so that you can be guided through your breath work. You can be guided through that relaxation because a lot of us don't use meditation as a daily practice. It's really hard to actually conquer meditation because there are so many distractions. We've got to come back to that present moment. But we teach you how to do that with these guided meditations. And then you can move into things like sound bath and breath work. And you can start to improve your skill set when it comes to meditation because it is a skill that we have to acquire. But by being present, that's where you'll reset your nervous system.
Yeah, and there's an order there, isn't there? Because I when I've been to Body Cove twice, and there's a bit of a circuit, or there's a bit of a process around an order in the way
Yeah.
things are done, and there's a reason for that as well. If you can just touch on that and explain it as well, because I'm hoping a few people listening to this are going to go and check it out, and when they do, they'll see this for themselves. But there's an order in it. There's a way things are done, and of course,
Yeah.
nothing's perfect, but it's like a recommended process.
Yeah, that's right. At Body Cove, we have a signature service. So that's our 120-minute wellness and recovery circuit. So at any recovery center, you can find all these modalities. But at Body Cove, by doing it in the flow that we've curated, it's going to give you the maximum benefit for both body and mind. Because we want you to leave really feeling like you've had an escape, like you've pressed pause on the world. And so by doing it in this order, not only will you get great health benefits, but you will really feel that relaxation, like you've been at a day spa for hours and hours. So we'll start with the Normatec compression boots, as I said earlier, for 30 minutes. But when you're in there, you're served, relaxation teas and dried fruits. And so it is just a really nice way to sort of start to experience those feelings of relaxation. And by doing that compression therapy, which actually can feel very relaxing in itself because it's like a soft tissue massage for your body, we do upper and lower body. So you can actually get that full body compression. So you're recovering really your arms, your shoulders, your chest, your legs, your feet. And then from there, after half an hour of relaxing, you'll then head through to the sauna. We actually call that sweat soak plunge. So you go sauna for 30 minutes, and then you have a beautiful monsoon rain shower in a really aesthetic room. It's actually a private use room as well. So that's something that Body Cove offers that not a lot of places do offer, is that use of a whole private room to yourself with all of those things in the one room. And we also do have a communal space. So if you want to feel social and get a group together, you can do that as well. But there's no sharing of equipment. So it's all private use equipment, which can be nice. And you rotate through that space. The sweat soak plunge happens, and that takes 60 minutes. And you're going from sauna to monsoon rain shower and back between the hot magnesium spa and the ice plunge. And at Body Cove, we don't have any chemicals, no chlorine. It's all natural organic mineral, and that keeps the water purified and clean through our sanitizing systems that we use there. And then, of course, you're going into the ice plunge, which is that hot and cold contrast therapy. After a shower and enjoying all of our organic shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, then you'll head through to your salt room where you're all dry and into your new clothes, where you can just relax on the curved lounges, pop your headphones on, and just reset before heading back out into the world.
Yeah, so cool, so cool, and it's also one of those things where it's every time you do it, because there are so many different elements. I mean, I've only done it twice, but the second time I did it, I noticed more things than the first, and
Okay.
and also I was able to take advantage of more things. Like, for example, I did the ice plunge for longer, for example, or secondly, I was able to I was actually able to relax a little bit more because, and I guess it's like anything. Once you've done something a few times, you become more familiar with it. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, you're taking it all in, aren't you, the first time? You're sort of thinking, how am I supposed to be feeling? What's the benefit of this? Like you're really switched on. And so I guess the second time that you do it, you're able to relax and enjoy the experience a little bit more, as you said, because it is familiar.
yeah, and how often would you recommend someone does it? Like what is once a month effective?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on why you're doing it. So if you're doing this as a part of an enjoyment hobby, something that you really enjoy to incorporate in your lifestyle, monthly is great. You can look forward to it. It's that self-care time that's so essential, and it's actually really good for you as well. So even though you're taking, a couple of hours out of your schedule to give yourself back some time and practice self-care, it actually has so many health benefits. So you're really using that time wisely. But if you're doing it for recovery, from, being an athlete, or if you are going to the gym regularly, it can be done, up to a few times a week. At Bodicove, you don't need to come through and do that full circuit, which is the 120 minutes. You can just come in for an ice bath after you finish your gym session to reduce that inflammation. Or you can just come and sweat it out on a Sunday morning if you've had a bit of a big night on a Saturday. So, we can incorporate these things into our lifestyle to optimize how we feel each day. There are some clients that will go there daily because they do have a membership, and that there is an unlimited membership offering there. But also we have members that come monthly as well, just they have that once a month visit to look forward to. But overall, I think everything in balance is always a good idea, Michael. So I would say 2 to 3 times a week is really going to help you to see the benefits of wellness and recovery. And it becomes a bit of a ritual into your lifestyle, just like you go to the gym.
Yeah, exactly. And if anybody wanted to get in contact with the team over at Bodicove, what would you say would be the best way for them to do that? Because I know you're active on social media. There's your website, which I'll make sure I put in the description of this episode.
Yeah, so the team are contactable on our website, which is www.bodicove.com.au, or alternatively on our socials, bodicove_au on Instagram and Bodicove Wellness and Recovery Rochedale South on Facebook. They can also give us a call on our landline, which you'll see on Google as well. And yeah, our team are ready to have a chat to you about your health and wellness goals, and really can give you some ideas on what would better for you the most. But yeah, we look forward to hopefully helping some more people with wellness and recovery.
Yeah, that's it. And I think the first step is probably just to go in and even just have a look and have a little mini tour around the place as well.
Yeah,
to see it all.
There are a lot of people that are coming from all over Brisbane. We have people travelling, as far as Toowoomba even, to come to Rochedale South. So this is a destination visit for you. Even if you're not local, you don't have to be close by to come and enjoy our services. You can come from wherever you are, whether you're interstate and just travelling for the weekend and having a little staycation. Come and have a little tour, book in with us. That is essential because Bodicove is a boutique space, and we can, help you decide what's best for you.
Yeah, nice. And Chloe, I like to finish all my episodes off with a dad joke.
Okay.
This one's a good one. I'm actually really proud of myself for finding this dad joke. But what happens when you're alone and you get too cold?
Oh gosh,
You
I am
feel
the worst at jokes.
you feel totally isolated.
Nice one.
Nice.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
That's
I wanted
definitely
a nice one, and it took me a while to find one, but I was like, you know what, this one's perfect. I couldn't find a hot one, but ice was. I think this one's enough. But Chloe, again, thank you so much for joining me and talking about the amazing things that the team do over at Bodicove Rochedale South. And I encourage anyone listening to this to check it out. And just in general, whether they do or not, just to really consider the importance of hot and cold therapy. And the amazing things it can do for our bodies when it comes to recovery. Again, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Michael. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.